Yep, it's me again. They hate us, that's why they give a fuck about us at the same time as always. I am your host, JD Miles. The MGTOWs they love to hate, even the ones that claim everybody loves to hate them, loves to hate MGTOW at the same time as always, which is why they keep us relevant to this very day, and I'm back again. For tonight's topic of discussion, deadbeat moms, single mothers by choice, and why they are the least respected. And shout out to the Tip Network, as well as shout out to Corey Holcomb and the 5150 podcast. Links will be in the comment section. Go check it out. But yeah, it's time that we break down why you got single mothers out here just as much as you have single. Let me correct myself here. We're going to break down why you got deadbeat mothers out here, no different than deadbeat fathers. You know, the side that nobody wants to talk about because according to these retarded fucks, it's so taboo. Well, we don't give a fuck how taboo it is. If they're going to make a big deal about deadbeat dads, we're going to make a big deal about deadbeat moms as well. Because yes, they do exist. As well as we also going to tackle these single mothers by choice. And as I said before, single mothers by choice is the least respected. No love, no sympathy. Fuck them unapologetically. And I don't give a damn who has a problem with it. You got a problem with me saying it? Come over here and solve it. But enough of me babbling. Let's get down to business, shall we?
People out there, because I have people walk up to me, and this type of perspective helps some people. When you have a child with a woman, you have no rights. They say, oh, they got father's rights attorneys. Yeah, okay. Only way you...
Nope, not at all. And yeah, as much as we all want father's rights attorneys, the truth of the matter is they're not existent. And I can be honest and say that. But let's continue.
The way you get rights is if that lady breaks the law. Then you can set it up where she's bad for the child and you might be able to get the child. Because I know somebody who got their child and did so much bogus. Her visits with the child had to be supervised by a counselor or something. She couldn't be a...
That's true as well. The only way the father can have custody of the child is if the mother is constantly in trouble with the law or she has the child in an unsafe, hazardous environment. That is true as well. That's the only way a father could get full custody of his child. Other than that, the custody always goes to the mother. But let's continue.
Couldn't be alone with the child because she was on the father in a way where the court said, oh, you can't be alone with the child because you'll turn the child against the dad when you have your rights to visit.
Right.
The point I'm trying to make with all this, all you new fathers, you cannot control what happens in America with your child. You have to make sure you have a child with somebody who has the best interest of not only the child, the best interest of the father of the child. Now, of course,
Facts. To all the young gunners out there, take notes.
Of course, there's women out there that say, I don't got to have no best interest for the father of the child. Exactly. You don't need a baby by nobody that don't give a f- about the child's father. If you got a child by a woman who don't give a about the child's father, that child ain't gonna give a f- about the child's father either.
Yes,
either.
Mm-hmm. It's a matter of time.
Just a matter of time. See, it's new in the beginning, and it starts to turn more and more into this big war. Because if you are a man and you're gonna remain masculine, now if you're gonna tuck your tail between your legs, you bought more time. You bought more time. But I'm telling you, man, Fatherhood in America is a treacherous, treacherous thing. A black woman's job is to raise her black daughters to see her supporting their black father. That's deep. Yeah. I know too many sisters that have made the dad a villain. I saw something on Judge Judy where this girl was suing her father for the car that he bought her, but she didn't do something where he was like, no, she doesn't deserve the car. I'm not going to give it to her now until she completes what she needs to complete. Mm-hmm. Right. So she sued her father for the car. And that man broke down. Like, you really doing this? And the mother was against the father too, because they weren't together no more. And the man broke down and started crying. He said, tell me what it signed. He just signed it. I'm done with you. You lost a father over a car. Man. And the mother looked so satisfied.
Oh, yeah, that's what she wanted.
The point I'm trying to make to all you guys, mentally prepare for what is to come, because the system supplies her with tools against you. The most unimaginable things you can think of can happen with the father of the child. And I'm bold enough to say that and stand on that. Not just my situation. I'm talking about there's a million guys out here can give you this situation 1,000 times over.
Facts. Straight facts. And they wonder why. and they wonder why the vast majority of these fathers speaks out against this system. Even us MGTOWs, we speak out against this corrupt bullshit ass system. There's no way around this. But let's continue.
Hey, what's your advice to men who want to be good fathers, but they can't see their kids? You want to be in the kid's life, but the mom is just making it super difficult.
So then you wait till that child grows up. In life, you got to be clever. You stay in your child's life, and things have a way of working out to your favor.
I'll cut you off for a second.
For sure.
I think the kids realize it who are male.
Right.
I think females take up for their mother forever. And they know the change.
Because but she starts turning on the females too.
If they don't like you, they don't like your kids. So be very careful about who you let around your kids.
I do know who needs to hear this today, so I'm going to say it. If you disrespect me, you get zero access to my children.
It does matter. It does matter.
No, you found someone else. You moved
on.
What do you mean
I found someone else?
You don't want to be a part of this baby's life anymore. You found someone else and moved on. What else do you want me to do? So I just...
Now, here's what pisses me off. Not just as a man, but as a father myself. Yes, you got these dumb bras out here keeping the fathers away from their child for the most dumb and retarded of reasons. But here's the thing, though. These dumb mothers, they got in their head believing that, oh, if I keep the father away from the child, then that's going to hurt the father. That's going to hurt the father. That's going to make the father feel some type of way. Basically, it's going to have a negative effect on the father. But what these dumb broads don't know is the fact that they think by keeping the father away from the child is hurting the father, but in reality, the only thing these mothers doing is actually hurting the child. And yes, I don't mind repeating that again. By these mothers keeping the father away from their child, they're not hurting the father, they're hurting the child. Word is bone on that. This is why if I ever watch Paternity Court, you see the children grow up They wondering who their father is, and when they find out the real truth about what happened compared to what their mothers tell them, these same children who grew up into adults turn right back around and resent their own mothers for sitting there lying to them. No shit. Let's continue.
Allow me in the room with my child.
No. You cannot.
Are you really being like this right now?
I'm being like this.
I really
you don't want to be with me anymore, so what's the point?
What that have to do with my child? That got nothing to do with him.
But also, isolation is a form of gaslighting. When women isolate the kids when the relationship don't go a certain way, because that's how they can influence them. They can infuse insecurities and doubt about the father. It's through isolation. That's a tactic that all abusive people use when they want to try to retain control of something that they can't physically own. They try to isolate it away from others to possess it so it becomes what they want it to be. That's definitely foul business.
Typically, don't give up on children, but they do give up on co-parenting if the wife is too difficult. When there's some mothers who make even seeing the child a headache and really, really drive that man away, he ends up giving up on the children. And children are just collateral damage from the mum being too difficult. And then what the mum does is brainwash the children into thinking that the dad was this and the dad was that and dad was that. So that child grows up into the real world thinking dad is a prick, mum was the savior. But what they don't realize is when you start thinking 50% of you is horrible, you internalize that damage. You think 50% of you is unlovable, and your mom.
And that's a fact. And this is regards to single mothers by choice. Yes, y'all heard me. She's talking about single mothers by choice here because one of the many traits of a single mother by choice is the fact that they will intentionally keep the father away from the child. Now, here's the reason why single mothers by choice get no respect. They will do that shit and then try to turn it around and make it seem like I'm a single mother who's just like I'm a single mother by choice who's like all these other single mothers out here. The father's a deadbeat. He doesn't want to have anything to do with the children. But in reality, she's not a single mother because the father's a deadbeat and don't want to have anything to do with the children. No. She is a single mother by choice who drove the father off, now wants to turn back around and pretend as if, the father had nothing to do with the children. And this is the reason why single mothers by choice, this is one of the many reasons why single mothers by choice get zero respect, period. Single mothers by choice are the most despised single mothers out of all of the groups. Let's continue.
And your mom hates 50% of you.
No point in time should any parent say anything negative to their children about the other parent. You are destroying their foundation. Their need to have two stable parents. Don't let me hear about you not letting that man see his kids. You are dismantling them when you do that. You're making them feel small and like nothing. And whatever damage you think you're doing to him, multiply it by 20, and that's what you're doing to your kids.
Thank you, Judge Lynn Toller, for clarifying exactly what Uncle JD said. Thank you for clarifying. What did Uncle JD said? They think that these mothers, these single mothers by choice out here, they think that, if I keep the father away from the child, then that's going to hurt the father. But in reality, the only thing she's doing is hurting her child for depriving that child of their father. Point blank, period. There is no argument. There is no debate. There is no whataboutism here. It is what the fuck it is. Let's continue.
You know, it's an actual scientific term for that. What is it called? It's called, well, for mothers turning their children against their fathers, called PAS, Parental Alienation Syndrome.
Right.
That's a real thing.
Pass.
Yeah, and it's intentional and unintentional. So sometimes women do it subconsciously. You know what I mean? They don't even know they're doing it, but that's an actual.
Yes, that is an actual term. Better yet, hold on. What is parental alienation syndrome?
Parental alienation syndrome, PAS, is a term coined by psychiatrist Richard Gardner in the 1980s. It describes a situation in which one parent manipulates a child into unjustly rejecting the other parent, usually in the context of a contentious divorce or custody battle. The alienating parent may use tactics such as bad-mouthing, limiting contact, or making false allegations to turn the child against the other parent. Hashtag key signs of PAS in a child. Unjustified rejection of one parent without legitimate reasons. Repeating negative opinions about the rejected parent, often using phrases that sound rehearsed. Lack of guilt or remorse for mistreating the rejected parent. Automatic support for the alienating parent in conflicts. Fear or reluctance to spend time with the rejected parent. Controversy and legal recognition. PAS is not officially recognized as a mental health disorder by major medical or psychological organizations, such as the American Psychiatric Association or the World Health Organization. However, parental alienation, the behaviors that lead to PAS, is widely acknowledged as a serious issue in family courts, affecting custody decisions and children's well-being.
Come on. And that's exactly what they're doing. This is the reason why, in some cases, the mother cannot be alone with the child because she'll try to use that child as a weapon against their father. And oftentimes in situations like this, you got these mothers out here that will do that shit to their children in order for them to turn against their father. But as they get older and they realize, and then they hear from others, whereas friends of the father's family, all the way down to the father itself, when they found out the real truth and what actually happened, then these same mothers turn right back around and wonder why their children resent them for those type of actions, or the mother doesn't give a damn at all. In which causes the child to have even more resentment. And believe me, I've seen it firsthand. But let's continue.
Actual thing.
He took you to the amusement park?
Oh, yeah. And
you know how dangerous it is there?
Everybody, y'all may not like me saying that because I'm a man, but everybody always talk about deadbeat fathers. I rarely hear people talk about deadbeat mothers. You know, the ones that keep the kids from the father because they hold a grudge against them. She keeps the child from the father deliberately. The father tries to be there. She makes it hell. Meanwhile, make the child life hell in the process of getting back her revenge. She telling the world he a deadbeat, but that ain't the case.
Pretty much it was some child abduction that took place.
And that's a fact. But everybody wants to make deadbeat mothers as if it's some kind of taboo thing to say. But the real question is, why are they so uptight about anyone talking about deadbeat mothers? Yet somehow, some way, these are the same retarded fucks who wants to make a big deal about deadbeat fathers. And as I stated before, you can't have one without the other. If there are deadbeat fathers out here, then guess what? There's going to be deadbeat mothers as well. And I've seen deadbeat mothers from all varieties. I'll talk about that in another video. But right now, let's get back to business.
place. As I was on the highway driving, she jumped out the car.
What?
My son was in the back seat. I had to stop the car. I look in the mirror. I see her rolling and tumbling. You know, the more attentive I was to certain things to get her some help, she was calling it controlling. But you heard. You know, she didn't want to go to the hospital, and which I regret. I should have just called the police or the ambulance. It kind of came back to bite me. I took care of her for a few days, didn't leave her sight. And the one day that I was like, let me go to the store, she seemed like she's coping better, get some stuff for her, my son. I get back, I see the door wide open. You know, she was gone. And then my son's gone. I'm looking everywhere. I kind of panicked. I was like, yo, let me check the rooftop. Like, God forbid, because she was telling me about these dreams she was having. So I ran to the rooftop. Like, I'm looking around everywhere, but yeah, she was gone.
Look, it's very...
Shoot, if that would have been me, I would have filed a missing persons report. Either that or else a kidnapping. But that's just me. Let's continue.
very rare that brothers grow up with their kids in America. And when you say that, it shouldn't be shocking.
But there's two men right here.
Shut up, Kendra J.
Arguing that.
Your kids grew up with you?
My kids are in my house every day. I'm taking them to practice.
That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful.
But you know what? I totally get what Corey was saying.
And come up here.
I was in the barber shop talking to some homies, and the first thing they said was, man, you had both of your parents growing up. And that, like, we laugh, right? But a lot of dudes didn't grow up with both parents in the home, so
that's
they need
rare.
Yeah,
that's rare. I'm from Chicago, man. It's a whole bunch of single moms who got opinions and they lonely.
Nobody, not even your mama, has a right to cause chaos and conflict in your life. And you have been the best parent you can be after you have done everything that you were supposed to do. When they get too old to get a whooping, my cutoff game is cold.
We all got a different flight pattern. Your flight is 30,000 feet, yours 20,000 feet, yours 50,000 feet, and we all gonna land at a different time in life.
Greetings, you polite savages.
And that's a fact. No lies are being told here. But what did you expect from single mothers who chose to be single mothers, who chose to run off the father, who chose to do this on their own while at the same time pretending like, oh, the father abandoned us, had nothing to do with us, and which of course that's bullshit, because she's the one who chased them off. But as I said, no lies are told. Let's continue.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Ladies, gentlemen, and polite savages, we are now about to embark on a journey sure to anger feminists and modern women alike.
We don't give a fuck!
The only thing we can do is guarantee to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as we see it. And that truth you seek at times is a bitter pill to swallow, but you gotta shut up and take your medicine. So there's nothing else left to do but get on into it. Are you ready?
Let's go.
T.K. Kirkland had a very interesting take when it came to being separated from his children. He looked the camera dead in the eyes and said, listen, you're in a situation, no win. The system's against you. So what you have to do is go start another family. Try to stay cool with your child, stay in your child's life, and hopefully the child will see things the way they are and come back to you. Imagine being put in a situation when the only thing that you can do is kind of gently step away because it's such a toxic relationship with your ex that you can't even.
And because of this, and because of what T.K. Kirkland said about the situation, he had all these dumb, bitter-ass broads all up in their feelings and emotions about it. Oh, how dare he talk about that situation when he's a deadbeat. And mainly and to be honest, the only ones all up in their feelings are the single mothers that apply, that what he said applies to. Yeah, they are hurt. They are hurting when the truth gets applied. But let's continue.
You can't even see your child. Showing up, the child's not there. She took your child, absconded, abducted. It happens a lot more times than you think. We even covered Sukiyana doing that with her children when her ex was on the Tasha K show talking about it.
Yep, Sukiyana, yet another single mother by choice. And she's not the only one. Brittany Renner, single mother by choice. Tia Maui, single mother by choice. Larsa Pippen, single mother by choice. Let's go.
About it.
And Sukiyana has been deemed by the court as someone who kidnapped her kids because she won't allow her children to see their father. He don't want no money from Suki.
Never.
He's always been there for his kids and even raised his kids, okay? For 3 years when she supposedly dropped them off with him. Never looked back. Yeah, we got phone calls, recording, court paperwork and all, but she's marketing.
So you're going to deprive your child. You're going to deprive your child of access to his father, as well as strip the black man of his rights as a father to be in his child's life. For what? What's she doing all this for? Cause she hurt? Cause she feel like she been misused and abused? It's a bunch of children, homie, that's being raised in those same conditions.
You see that?
And that's a fact. But as I constantly stated, I'm gonna keep on driving it home. They think by doing this shit they're hurting the father, but in the end they're hurting the children. And this is what they don't compute. And over what? Over what? Some selfish, pity ass reason? Some dumb, retarded, fuck ass reason? Come on.
You see, this one's about deadbeat mothers, the mothers who leave their children places only when they want to go out and shake their tail feather, when they want to dance, when they want to sing. You know, the mothers who keep their children away from their fathers as a weapon against him, weaponizing the children, weaponizing the only thing, destroying his legacy. Oh yes, there's a lot of them out there.
Straight up. And get this, fellas. These would be the same single mothers that you'll find on Kevin Samuels, Kendra G, and all these other dating shows, trying to find a man worth his salt value and his worth, and they come to find out that those same men don't want their asses. Then they want to be all up on social media catching feelings. Brittany Renner, anyone? Let's continue.
One by one. I even have a friend who lost his life because of such a harlot. Let us be serious. All of these ladies walking around thinking that they're the old...
May he rest in peace.
Ones who ever felt any pain of being separated from their children, thinking that these men don't want to spend every waking moment with their child. It's absolutely ridiculous. You see, these ladies think that men work too much. They don't understand that a man goes out there and faces the world most of the time for his family. Because if it was up to us, we would just sit back and chill, play video games, relax, be regular guys. But we are on our purpose because our purpose drives us. And our purpose is to make sure that our legacy is secure.
Straight up. But in a situation like this, it's always going to be for men, especially black men who are fathers, it's always a can't win for losing situation. Oh, you work too much. You don't spend time with the family. Oh, you work too little. You're too damn lazy. Everything has to have a problem, doesn't it?
Accomplishment, your car, your salary, none of that gets to speak at the funeral. That's what defines the man. What are these people saying while you in that casket that you can't hear, that you'll never hear? Because the man don't get to hear this when he's alive. Nobody likes the man because the man have to establish law and order. The man does. You can't go out here like that, dressed like that, Betty. Say, cover your titties up, Betty. No, Betty, you not getting no job. You gonna stay here and you gonna work. No, you're not working. The man established law and order. That's his job as a man. He corrects what's wrong.
And these deadbeat moms weaponize that against us. Let me break it down to you exactly how it works. You see, when you work too much, a lady's upset because you don't have enough time to spend with her. But when you don't work enough, she's upset because you don't have enough money to spend on her. When you're not working enough, you're not being a man and providing the provision that your family needs. So she'll turn around and look elsewhere and let you know that you're just not the man that she thought she was getting into. So when you...
As I said... Excuse me. As I said, by the end of the day, us fellas, is to the ones who are fathers, by the end of the day, in this situation, you just can't win for losing. Because everything you do, no matter how little or how much you put into it, she's always going to have a problem. Let's continue.
When you finally get that divorce because life has been hell, turmoil, maybe the best thing, because one thing is for certain, nothing is worse than turmoil inside the household to raise some children in. Like a lot of folks say, a good divorce is better than a really bad marriage. And I'm all for marriage. I'm for the institution. I'm for people getting together and raising children because the outcomes are so much better. But sometimes it's just not going to work out. So you go your separate ways. You're paying your child support. You want your visitation. But she's a little upset because you're with somebody else. So what she's going to do, make sure that you don't see your children. And when you do see your children, it's kind of like the last minute thing. Oh, she's going to go out with her girls and she's going to swoop on by.
And yes, you even got some of them who will defy what the courts say and prevent you from seeing your child. And fellas, if you are, to the fathers out there, if you are in this situation, then yes, she is in contempt of court because she's not allowing you to see your child, see your children, even though the courts permit it. So in this situation, if it is happening to you, get your lawyer, go back to the courts, let them know that they're not allowing you to see your children. And guess what? She's on the hook. She's on the hook because now she's held in contempt of court for refusing to follow what the courts say. If the court says that you have visitation rights or you have partial custody, then she must uphold to it, regardless to how she feel. Facts don't care about the feelings. Off the gate.
And drop them babies off. Forget what you got going on. Forget the fact that you got to work early in the morning. She'll be back when she's back. Deadbeat mothers, dead in the flesh, looking you dead in the face saying, guess what? If you don't like it, I'll take you back to court, get more child support, and the criminal court system, family court system is criminal enough to actually back her up in these details. Because that industrial child support complex is coming for that ass. You dig?
Who's the deadbeat? She is. It ain't me for sure. At 3 months pregnant, she went off to Vegas and didn't tell me where she was. I find out through the grapevine that she was stripping. She just keep pressing them buttons. So we were getting screaming matches. Never once touched this woman. Well, a girl on Instagram had messaged me and said, I know your baby mama, and she's doing sex work. And she was like, I know that you have your son right now. She's planning on coming back and taking it. The sheriffs tried 6 times to serve this girl. And so I just took matters in my own hands. I called the strip club and I said, hey, is so-and-so working today? And they said, yeah, she just walked in. And I turned to my boy and I said, hey, you wanna go to the strip club? But we go out to the club. He walks up to her. It's a full nude strip club too, by the way. Walks up to her, says, hey, you look pretty nice. Puts his arm around her. She says, oh yeah, what you trying to do? He said, well, actually, you just got served.
So a couple of questions come to mind. And I'm going to talk about the...
Ooh, check and mate. So basically what she was trying to do was to avoid being served until he went to that club and served her live and direct. And to be honest, because of her shady career, he has a chance to win custody of the child. Yes, if the mother is working, if a mother is working in a place where it's considered a risk, such as sex work, what may have you, that's not a safe environment for that child because anything can happen. And yes, oftentimes fathers in this situation have a better chance of winning custody. I'm just throwing that out there. Let's continue.
Talk about the betterment of the child in this situation. What chance does this child have if she's raised by an ex-worker to really prosper? Yes, it can happen, but why are we putting our kids in a situation where they have to do Herculean feats of luck and fate to be successful? Why don't we put our kids in the best situation that they could possibly be in to prosper? Isn't that our...
Yes. That's the whole entire object of being a parent. And take it from a parent who knows. The object is to make sure that your child don't have to go through the same environment that their parents went through. Not having that child go through that same old tore up road that their parents went through. And that's a fact.
That our job? Isn't that the job of us securing our legacy? Isn't that what we're supposed to do 100% of the time? Yes. Aren't we supposed to make sure our kids' lives are much better than our lives were?
Yes.
So what's really going on in this situation? It just doesn't make sense. And a lot of ladies out there will look you dead in the eyes with all of these lies and cabbage and delusion and say, well, just because her mom's an ex-worker doesn't mean that she has to do it or she can't have a great life. Ma'am, I just said that. But again, why would you put a child in a situation where they have to do so much just to break even? We're already in a situation in a lot of ways not having the same financial means as other folks. We're already behind the 8 ball, trying to get you college, trying to get you life, trade school, whatever we're going to do. And now we're going to put ourselves in a situation where we're starting 50 yards back behind everybody else. Make it make sense.
It's statistics.
I tried and I couldn't.
Statistically a fact, single mothers, we produce the worst product, right? Part of that, when we talk about males, especially black males, we don't realize that we're programmed because if you don't understand history, you won't realize that like it starts with the female. Even when we were slaves, the idea is if you program the mind of the female slave, she will raise the offspring to continue your agenda without you having to be physically involved. She will teach her children to abide because we're the first givers of life and care when kids are small. So we train them up to be good slaves, follow these particular rules. We indoctrinate and, create certain philosophies in their mind. So by the time they're big and strong, they still following behind the same agenda that was placed into us. So when you look at males that come from single mother-headed households, if you don't get around positive male role models, you have the emotional management skills of a woman.
Break that down.
All of your in 17, 18 years, you've only seen a woman head the household. You've only seen how a woman problem solves. You only seen how a female, i.e. your mother, handles things. You've only seen how she deals with anger, guilt, shame, different feelings. You're only watching it from her. Now, she ain't telling you act like me, but she's telling you act like me because this is programming. This is psychology.
So most black boys...
And that sad but true. And this is the reason why children needs both parents in the house, not just one. And I stand 10 toes down on business on that. Let's continue.
Black boys who grew up in the house with his mama, right? He don't have a man to show him how to get mad, sit down, think, go outside, smoke him a cigarette, listen to the music, go fishing, talk to him, call his brother. He ain't have a man to show him that. So he don't have no other kind of way to think past his emotion. Who's teaching him this?
Thank you for listening.
And then they wonder why some of these dudes act all effeminate. They wonder why these dudes act so emotional. They wonder why these dudes act like women. Quick to react, slow to think. And these would be the same women calling these men like this soft, calling these men sassy and shit. And what was the product that was used to create these men the way they are? Okay then. But I'm gonna stop this video right here. By the end of the day, deadbeat moms exist just as much as deadbeat dads, and that's a fact. And oh man, and people wonder why single mothers by choice are the least respected, and why nobody has no respect for them at all. And I hope this clears some shit up for all these motherfuckers in here bitching and complaining about it. But nevertheless, I said what I had to say. If y'all want to watch Tip Media Network's video in its full entirety, I'll leave the link in the comment section. Go check it out. Tell them JD Miles sent you. But that's all I got for tonight. I'm done and I'm out this bitch. Later.